Hello and hi guys, hi there, how are all of you? I hope you all are fine. Well, my name is Yusuf and I'm back on Yusuf Reacts. Well, guys, today I'm back with a very interesting thing that is there for you people. The thing that I'm here for is something that is gonna be taking our channel to a new level. And when I say this thing up, taking our channel to a new level, it means this thing up that today we are gonna be going on to a new step ahead of what we guys have already been doing on. I had been someone who was giving reactions regarding different kinds of movies, different kinds of seasons that were out there, and different new English songs that were out there. But today, we guys are going to be moving a step ahead. And when I say this thing up, we guys are going to be moving a step ahead. It means this thing up that now we're going to be touching the main core from where all these things are inspired from, especially when we talk about the English movies that are out there. And today we guys are going to be discussing a few of that particular things that are going to be there. In short, this is an introductory stuff in which I am going to be giving you guys a new glimpse, a new dimension to this channel, where the reactions are not going to be restricted only towards different kinds of new English movies that are out there. It's not going to be restricted to different kinds of new songs that are out there, or even the English seasons that are out there. Means we are going to be now expanding the domain of our particular channel. And when I say this thing up, we are going to be expanding the domain of our channel. It means this thing up that from today onwards, you guys need to be ready for a roller coaster ride. Before we proceed, I want all of you to subscribe to the channel. I want all of you to like it. I want all of you to share my videos as much as you guys can. Now, guys, moving on with what do I have for you people for today. So, what do I have for you guys? And the thing that I have for you guys is something which is really, really interesting. It is really good, and you guys are really gonna be happy to know that thing now. Well, before we start off, I want all of you to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel once again. Alright guys, before we move on, I want you people to know one thing up that from today onwards we guys are gonna be starting off with the most famous English novels, plays that are gonna be there, part of our own. And the reaction that we're gonna be going on for today, or the short glimpse that I'm gonna be talking about for today is gonna be about what? This is something that all of you would be wondering, and I want all of you to know this thing up that we're gonna be starting off with none other than William Shakespeare. And when I talk about William Shakespeare, well, guys, what do I say about this guy? And the thing that I have for you people for today, as I'm going to be talking about him, is going to be regarding Macbeth. Macbeth, a particular play that has a huge, huge, huge impact. There are a lot of themes that are present in it. And when we talk about Macbeth, there are a lot of other things that do come into our mind. Like the thing that is there is what? That like humans, they have certain desires that are there which they are unable to control. And when we say that particular thing up, in order to achieve those particular desires, they end up doing things that they are extremely regretful about afterwards. But what happens eventually, the thing which happens eventually is this thing up that once one thing is done, it cannot be overturned. And we come across the same guy over here known as the protagonist of this particular play known as Macbeth. Now, Macbeth is someone who is an exceptional sort of a leader, a great warrior, I would say. But eventually, what happens? That's what the whole thing is. The thing which happens is this thing out that Macbeth eventually going on and becoming one of the best. Eventually, comes across a prophecy that is done by three witches that he comes across. Now, basically, these three witches also hold a great deal of importance as far as this play is concerned. Why am I saying it? Because of one particular reason, guys. These three witches are the ones that really do signify one particular thing up for Macbeth. And what is that thing that they do signify for the Macbeth up? The same thing that they signify for Macbeth is this thing up that like how that particular individual who was once a very loyal individual to the king, he goes and he does something that is really against not only his personality but his will, but it's the element of lust of power that eventually takes over him. Eventually he does what he wants to take over, and in order to take over he plans, and as a prophecy which was eventually done by the witches, that he's going to be someone who's going to be the king. And in order to achieve that particular thing up, the biggest mistake and the blunder that he does is what? The biggest mistake and the blunder that he does is this thing up that he discusses that particular thing with his wife. And that individual is none other than his beautiful wife known as Lady Macbeth. And when he discusses that particular thing out with Lady Macbeth, that is where we come across one particular thing. That is this, that females, eventually when we discuss certain things with them, they eventually do, have it to a great extent because they start visualizing that particular thing up. And that is what happens. Eventually, both of them end up killing the king up, taking his position, and eventually, that is from where Macbeth comes across things that he has never ever imagined in his life. He, being a brave soldier, a brave, I would say a brave individual who fought for the king from a really, wrong perspective, doing things that were really exceptional as far as his abilities were concerned to lead an army. But when he comes to that particular thing up, and that also going against his will, because always remember one thing up, people who belong to such categories have honor in them. And eventually when they do such commits, sins and stuff like that, or they do commit such sort of crimes, eventually it haunts them. That is what happens with Macbeth. It haunts him. And eventually that particular thing becomes the cause of his demise. Now, the thing that we realized over here is what? The thing that we realized after going through this particular play is this, how tragedy stucks that particular individual, but tragedy that tends to happen is not only because of this particular reason that Macbeth himself, eventually had that flaw in him, but it was the element of lust that took over. And that lust eventually forced him to do something that was against his own will. And because he committed something that was against his own will, eventually he had to suffer the consequences. And when we talk about that particular thing up, he eventually ends up dying this up. He not only does this thing up, but he even, plans and kills his own best friend that was there. So this is what it goes on with Macbeth being an honorable general at one particular time ends up falling into, the prey of that particular lust that humans have in ourselves. Basically, if I do a conclusion of this particular play up, I can simply say one thing up that with this particular play, Shakespeare wanted us to realize three very important themes that were there. That is this thing up that greed is always the curse. We need to understand this thing up. Greed for any particular thing, either it be for wealth, either it be for power, it can eventually have you guys do things that are really unpredictable and not so convincing. The second thing that is there is what? The second thing that is there, which is really something which can be, too troublesome, which cannot be good. And that is this thing up that when you do things against your own will, your personality has a clash. And that is what Macbeth also faced. He was someone who used to do things with honor, and bravery was something that personified his personality. But eventually, when he did something that was a cowardly act, and that is something that became the cause of his demise. And the last and the most important thing is what? Actions taken by you people can have adverse reactions afterwards because he took an action, but eventually that costed him really badly. So, guys, this is me, Yusuf, saying goodbye to you people. I want all of you to understand one thing up that from now onwards, you guys are going to be going on to the next level. Do subscribe, comment, and like my videos up. Take care, guys. Bye.